First of all, I'm figuring out that I'm not actually very good at vlogging, so most of this video is going to be me sitting here explaining what happened with slight video overlays of what I managed to capture while we were on this great adventure. Here's how it went. On November 6th, Mark, Zeke, and I took our Ford F-150 and drove from Jacksonville to San Antonio, mostly to help Mark's parents move out of his childhood home and be there for them through that kind of like emotional journey since they've been there for so long. That pretty much took up our whole amount of time there, which was fine because we wanted to be there for them since they've helped us out so much in like moving and just in life in general. So that was a pretty big all-encompassing of the first time that we were there in Texas. Once we got everything out of their house and into their new places / their storage units, we pretty much the next day flew back to Jacksonville so that we could pick up a U-Haul and then drive back to Texas again. Zeke, we happily left with my parents because he absolutely loves their dog Doodle, and they play every morning in the backyard together, and my dad takes them on a walk every morning, and he even gets some dog treats each night, so he's truly much happier there than flying back and forth with us. We flew back to Texas on the 17th, and once we got home we pretty much just passed out because we were so exhausted. And on the 18th we pretty much packed everything that we possibly could inside of the house because we were going to get our truck on the 19th. So that next morning we went and we picked up the U-Haul, and then the whole day basically we spent packing up our house in Jacksonville, and it pretty much took all day long. Everything just fit into the truck as it usually does, and then we actually ended up driving down an hour the wrong direction to my brother's house in Daytona to spend the night there and then leave the next morning. Bright and early we headed out, and we thought we could do this 16-hour drive from Daytona to San Antonio in one day, but it turned out to take a lot longer than we had hoped because we ran into a few accidents and one big one on a very long bridge that pretty much stopped us for like 20 minutes. So we ended up spending the night in Lafayette, and then we finished the drive the next day. Our second time in Texas was a little bit more relaxing. We pretty much just chilled with our family and friends for a few days and even got to spend a Thanksgiving dinner with our families. But we ended up leaving Texas on the 25th so that we could get a really good time with not anybody being on the road. This leg of the trip wasn't so bad because we actually had 3 drivers. We had our Ford truck that was towing Becca's car, and then we had the U-Haul. So every like 3 hours we would rotate who was getting to rest in the Ford truck. We were driving from Boerne, Texas to Laramie, Wyoming, where Emily lives. So that's about a 22-hour drive. So it was pretty exhausting. Nothing really crazy happened except for one little weird adventure on a back road. Once we made it, I was excited because from Wyoming to Missoula, I thought it was only 8 hours, but turns out it was actually 12 hours, which ended up being more like 14 hours in our U-Haul. The drive was beautiful, and I tried to capture as much of it as I possibly could while we were driving. I had lots to look out the window at, but as we were getting really close to the more mountainy part of Montana, we were kind of driving in the dark at that point, although I did get to see a train coming into town as we were, with the mountains in the background, and you could see just enough of the mountains because the moon there was so bright, so it really looked like a Polar Express kind of moment. Mark ended up getting a little bit sick that night, so that was rather unfortunate, and the next morning we figured out that our hotel didn't have any complimentary breakfast and the gym was closed because of COVID. So we grabbed a quick breakfast in town and then we headed out for Whidbey. This is where the driving got a little bit intense. It was really, really windy, and we started getting into a serious amount of mountain area where it was really, really steep and people were just flying by us. The wind was pushing the U-Haul back and forth on the highway, so that was a little freaky for me. I don't really like to drive in wet weather, so I thank the Lord God Almighty that it wasn't raining or snowing because I think I would have just pulled over and stopped the whole adventure. But by some miracle we made it. We got to Whidbey around 10 o'clock. We checked into our hotel home for the next month and a half and crashed. Once we finally made it to Whidbey, I thought that we were going to get a chance to relax, but it turns out that the U-Haul people needed the truck back that very next day. So the two of us got in the truck and drove to the first storage unit we could find and started putting all of our junk into those 2 storage units. It took the 2 of us about 4 hours to unload the whole truck, which wasn't that bad, but we were really exhausted from the trip, and so it felt like an eternity. But we finally got everything in there.
This is it, hooray!
This is all our junk. Now, all of this doesn't sound too bad because it was just a lot of driving, a little bit of exhaustion, and a little bit of sickness. But all the while, we were really trying to figure out where we were going to live. We didn't know if my little sister, who was living with us in Jacksonville, was going to be able to make the move with us to Whidbey because we couldn't get a really clear answer if she was allowed to be in the on-base housing. By now, we pretty much figured out that she is going to be able to come up here, but since we're going to be in this hotel for about a month and a half, she ended up having to stay with my parents in Texas until then, which isn't too bad. It was just really stressful trying to figure it out from far away. On top of all of that, we were also considering buying a house while we were here in Whidbey. Now, we're first-time home buyers, so that was really stressful in the first place. And to be honest, the market here is pretty crazy. This base has blown up a large amount in the past 3 years because they've moved several squadrons to the area, so the demand for houses has gone through the roof. What finally made us just stop looking and decide to stick with the on-base housing is the fact that we had already put 4 offers down on different houses that all got rejected because other better offers were coming in. So all the houses that you see on the market get several offers on them, and a lot of them go at least $20,000 over the asking price with no inspection required. We just didn't feel comfortable doing that kind of thing from far away without ever being in the area, so we gave up. With all that going on and the fact that we were going to be in a hotel for a month and a half, we decided to leave Zeke at my parents' house. I feel a little bit bad about this, but mostly because I'm a little bit worried you guys are going to judge us as bad dog parents for it, but truly, he's much happier there. He almost acts like a normal dog. If you see my videos of Zeke before, he's pretty laid back, a little shy and nervous around new people, but when he's at my parents' house, he plays with their dog Doodle. He even goes up to some of my family members and asks to be pet. Plus, they have a doggy door, and so he gets to lay outside in the sunshine as much as he wants. So it was really a no-brainer to just leave him there where he'd be a lot happier for a month and a half. From here, I really want to make more vlogging videos about the adventures that we're going to have while we're in the Pacific Northwest for 3 years. Now that I have a proper editing system, I think I can actually make this happen. If you're new here, Mark and I are high school sweethearts, and pretty much as soon as he graduated college, he joined the Navy to be a pilot. So he flies P-8 Poseidons, and this is our first duty station. I currently do online fitness coaching, and it works really well with our lifestyles. I love this company that I work with so much, and it's helped me and some of my closest friends out a ton. And in my spare time, I make YouTube videos on occasion. Thank you so much for watching this video. In the future, I'm going to do a lot better job of capturing video in the moment. And thank you so much to everybody who helped us out during this crazy time. Most of it was online through social media connections, which I am so grateful for. The amount of people that have given me advice about moving or being in Whidbey or what I would need for the cold weather. I really, really appreciate getting to know you guys. And I hope this video doesn't come off as us complaining about our situation. I really just wanted to show you guys kind of what we were dealing with. I'm so grateful that we made it here safely, mostly healthy, and then we have a roof over our heads for the next month and a half. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update since I've been so MIA with the sickness lately, but hopefully moving forward I can keep you guys more in the loop. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't say we didn't warn you.
It's just beautiful. That's magnificent.
857.
I just love that that's what they tell you when you get into the state.
Thoughts?
It's really good. It's a lot of chocolate, like too much chocolate to peanut butter ratio.
Oh, it needs more peanut butter.
But we got the dark chocolate one, so it's really good.
Oh, that makes sense. What is it called exactly?
It's called the Overbite.
Bucky's original.
1/4 a pound of goodness.
It's just so much chocolate. Oh, goodness.
It tastes really good.
Okay.